Welcome back to Common Command, your YouTube hub for all things EDH and so much more. This episode is brought to you by viewers like you. If you'd like to help support the channel, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel with bell notifications on so you don't miss out on any uploads. You can also support us by visiting our TCG Player affiliate link when purchasing any product off the site. Lastly, you can support us directly over on Patreon to help fund future projects as you cash in on some amazing benefits. If you'd like to interact with the Common Command team, follow the link in the description to join our brand new Discord server. Now enjoy the rest of the video. Do you enjoy the suffering of your opponents? Do you love playing your opponent's cards? Are you just a plain out evil Magic player? If so, Tergrid, God of Fright, is the commander for you. For 3 generic and 2 black, we've got a legendary 4/5 god with Menace. It reads, whenever an opponent sacrifices a non-token permanent or discards a permanent card, you may put that card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. This deck's main goal is to make our opponents discard as many cards as we can and get any permanents they discard onto the battlefield under our control. And if they manage to play out some spells, we've got various sacrifice effects to lock down the battlefield and win with whatever cards we take from our opponents. Now let's kick off this mono black discard theme deck with some ramp. Now black's got some really neat ramp spells with Dark Ritual and Bubbling Muck. Dark Ritual will give us 3 mana for a simple 1 black, while Bubbling Muck will make swamps tap for extra mana until end of turn. We've also included Helm of Awakening to make everyone's spells cost 1 less, as most of the time our opponents won't be having cards to play. Wafer's Bauble will get us 1 land for a total of 3 mana, and Soul Ring, Mind Stone, and Arcane Signet are reliable mana rocks to get us a turn ahead. Since we're playing mono black, we've also included Crypt Gas to make our swamps tap for extra mana. Next up is our card draw, and we're starting strong with Sizen, Perverter of Truth, and Fauna Mythos. Now both of these cards let everyone draw an extra 2 cards on their upkeep, but we've left them in the deck to make sure our opponents have some cards to discard throughout the course of the game. Howling Mine will also give everyone an extra card to draw, while Horn of Greed will draw players a card when they play a land. Otherworld Atlas can charge up with some counters and then let everyone draw a card for each counter on it, while Temple Bell just taps to let everyone draw a card. Anvil of Begarden also lets everyone draw an additional card, but it also makes them discard a card right away. Alhammer's Archive will double our amount of draw, while Grim Haruspex and Midnight Reaper will draw us a card every time a creature dies. We have several creatures that make everyone sacrifice a creature when they enter the battlefield, so these 2 cards will net us a card each time we do that. But discard is the name of the game, so let's see exactly how we'll be making our opponents do that. Kicking off our discard is the Haunt of High Tower. For 6 mana, we get a 3/3 that makes defending player discard a card on attack. The creature also gets buffed with +1/+1 counters as opponents discard cards. Rankle Master of Pranks is another creature that cares about combat. Upon combat damage, we can make everyone discard a card, sacrifice a creature, and draw a card, hitting everything we need. Uragos, the Empty One, also makes an opponent discard a card at random when it deals combat damage, while Court of Ambition makes us the Monarch when it enters, and on our upkeep makes opponents lose life unless they discard a card. Siphon Mine and Dark Deal are sorceries that will make our opponents discard multiple cards, while Liliana Waker of the Dead can uptick to make each player discard a card. Beryllium Skeins will make each player discard 3 cards, while Awaken the Erstwhile will make everyone discard their whole hand. Now we've got more reliable forms of discard with Bottomless Pit, Necrogen Mist, Oppression, and Creeping Dread, but let's move on to the second sub-theme of the deck, Sacrifice Effects. Since we get major benefits from our opponents sacrificing creatures, we've filled the deck with Fleshbag Marauder, Virtue's Maneuver, Plaguecrafter, Infernal Offering, Merciless Executioner, Demon's Disciple, and the newly printed Eradicator Valkyrie. These cards will help us keep the board under control while also advancing our own board state if our commander is out. But we've got a few interactive cards left, and that's our synergistic support cards. Tiny Bones Trinket Thief, while an expensive card, is a very great discard add-in. It rewards us for making opponents discard cards, as well as having a built-in win condition. Sir Conrad the Grim will make our opponents lose life as creatures enter and leave the graveyard, while Revel in Ridges will generate us treasure as our opponents sacrifice creatures. Waste Not provides us with various benefits as our opponents discard, while Grimoire will get us cards. Bloodchief Ascension, when having enough counters, will shock away our opponent's life total as cards enter the graveyard, while Memgrim, Liliana's Caress, and Raider's Wake will deal damage as they discard. The new card Draugr Necromancer is an amazing card that has a similar effect to our commander's ability. When a non-token creature dies, we get to exile them with the ice counter and cast them at later times. Better yet, if we're running snow lands or permanents, we can tap them for any color of mana to help cast the exiled cards. But it's time to move on to our last category, our protection and interaction. Now our commander is an important piece in the deck, however it's not needed to function, but it does put our deck way ahead. So we've included Lightning Grease and Swiftfoot Boots to protect our commander at all costs. We also have some forms of removal with Defile, Go for the Throat, Soul Shatter, Crux of Fate, and Toxic Deluge. But with that, the deck is complete. Let me know your thoughts on the deck in the comment section below, what cards you would add in or replace. If you'd like to see a full 100 card deck list, visit the TCG player link in the description. And lastly, a major thanks to our newest patron for supporting the channel. Their funds go directly back into the channel and its improvements, so if you would like to go beyond and support Common Command, consider joining our Patreon with the link below.